Hi everyone, this is Diane. I hope you're all having a good day today. I thank you for joining me in my studio today. I really appreciate it. Now I know I made the vegetable garden journal without very many videos. I think I ended up only publishing one video. I tried a couple others that I didn't really like how they turned out, so I think we just had one. So I am working on this one now, and decided to just turn on the camera and hopefully I'll have something that I like when I'm done. I did a little bit of prep work, but probably not enough to do a whole video. So anyway, I've pretty much decorated throughout the first signature, and I have this library card. It's a vintage card that I decorated with that's a digital and some washi tape, and I'm going to glue it down on the back page here. I know the whole country of the United States pretty much is in a heat wave, and some states are very, very hot, in the hundreds. We're in the 90s today in northeastern Pennsylvania, and that's pretty hot for us. So I'm just trying to, I'm not going anywhere today, just trying to keep it cool. This is I think it's a Mrs. Coggs digital of quilts, and this one is called As Golden Butterflies and Pansies. So it's got flowers on it, and I have this ledger printed on the back of it. So there's that. So moving on to the second signature, I have this tuck spot already done. I did the ruffles, I did the stamping and stenciling, and just a little bit of prep work that I did yesterday for this. So I have this gorgeous, gorgeous image from a 1960s encyclopedia of gardening set. And tucked into this tuck spot, I have this, which was clipped into some gardening book that I bought, Planting Guide for Double Begonias. So I'm just going to tuck it in, and you can write on the back. And I'll tuck this layaway pocket in, or envelope, and allow you to decorate it how you would like. And then I have this from a vintage, I think it's from the binder, the gardening binder, Better Homes and Gardens. So I'm going to glue it to this to give it some strength and also to give you journaling space. I think I'll just leave a little border around it, just a tiny one. And while I'm doing the gluing and stuff today, instead of editing through it, I can just chat a little bit. I don't know if any of you have been able to watch the Billy Joel documentary, parts 1 and 2. It's on HBO Max. I actually subscribed to HBO Max just so my daughter and I could watch that documentary. I was so excited when I saw it advertised. I think I saw it on Facebook being advertised. And my daughter and I went to Madison Square Garden to see him. She said it was 11 years ago. That's a long time ago. But I remember it. It was so great. So I'll just tuck this in, and there's a journaling spot. So we were really looking forward to seeing this documentary, and it did not disappoint. This is double-sided paper, so in order, I'm going to decorate it with this at the bottom, and this is from a Raggedy Ann book, so this is a Johnny Gruel illustration. And rather than glue something here for you to journal on, which I would glue that down. It's a vintage appointment book page, but it's a memoranda page at the back of the book. I think I'll just clip it to the page, and I'm going to choose one of these that came from Day to Day, a calendar for 1962, and it's got some beautiful pictures and quotes. So I'm going to pick one of these. I like these colors. What will they hold the coming hours? At least we may be sure of flowers. And that's a picture of buttercups. It does say January, but I think I'm gonna choose this one. And you can use this to write on, or you could glue this down somewhere as a tuck spot. I'm gonna glue this down, but then clip those to the page so you can do what you want with them. So last week, the first week that the Billy Joel, the first part came out, it came out in 2 parts, a week apart. And so when our schedules permitted, she came over and we loved it so much. I had all of the early albums, yes, albums, not CDs, of Billy Joel. I was married in 1977, and my husband and I we liked Billy Joel, and we started out. I don't think we bought I know we didn't buy the first album, Cold Harbor, something Harbor. And that wasn't a very good album. It had a good song on it, I remember, but it wasn't produced correctly, and it sped up his voice. I had read about that before, and he spoke about it in this documentary. So he was not happy with that album. But the next one, I believe, was Street Life Serenader, and oh my goodness, that is one of my favorites of his. I love that. So hearing all of the music and hearing the stories of what was happening in his life when he wrote those songs just kind of made sense. And so it was exciting for us to listen and then pause very briefly and make a comment here and there. It was a 2.5-hour section. They were both 2.5-hour sections. So we didn't want to pause it too long, and we wanted, we had to get on with things. So that's a digital label with daisies on it. And here I'm going to add a tab. I picked a few out. This is one that was a digital, but I already cut it in half and used half of it for something else. So I'll use one of these. This is a sticker. I think it's from K & Company. I think I like that one. I like them both, but I'm going to use this one. And she remembered the early albums just because she grew up listening to them. You grew up listening to your parents' music. And we bought every album of his. I can't remember the order that they're in, but I skipped one, and then we bought An Innocent Man. That was like 1980 or very early 80s. But the one before that we didn't get. And then I didn't get any more after that until the last one, because I loved the song, what is it? All I can hear is "In the middle of the night, I go walking in the rain." River of Dreams. That was the name of the album too. And I love that song, so I bought that one. And it's got some nice songs on it, but we didn't get all of them. But we did get the greatest hits after a while, so anyway, we were big Billy Joel fans. And I'm a piano player, so listening to him play the piano was awesome. And Elton John also, I love their piano music. So we just had a great time listening to that. So last night, she came over after work to watch the second part. So this is just a little tiny brown envelope, 2x2 with the flap down, but I glued the flap open. And this is a vintage gift tag. There's just a little tag and a digital bunny rabbit label I stuck in there. And I glued some lace there. I think I'd like to glue a little something right there. Oh, I turned my fan off because I did one video with the fan on and I thought it sounded good and everybody said it was good. But one of the videos that I didn't publish, hang on, I'm going to grab some pieces to look through. I had the fan on and I could hear it and I didn't like it. So I don't know. Maybe it was a little closer than the first time. So anyway, I turned the fan off for this video and it is hot, even though I'm in the basement. So if you have a chance to watch, if you like Billy Joel and you have a chance to watch, his documentary is called And So It Goes. It's one of the names of one of his songs. And it was just really good. And it was very honest, talking about his struggles and his divorces and where he's at in life now. And I recommend it. So my daughter and I said, now we have to listen to all of his CDs in order and remember what he was going through in his life when he wrote it, and so we can get a better understanding of the song. But I remember when we were coming home from Madison Square Garden, we spent the night in, our hotel was in New Jersey. We spent the night and then we walked around the city again the next day before we came home. But driving home, we were listening to Billy Joel music all the way home. And that River of Dreams came on. And we were getting close to home. Maybe, I don't know, 40 to 45 minutes away. We just kept hitting replay, backing up, and we listened to that song until we got home, singing along. It was really fun. And that was when my husband was still alive, but he paid for the ticket for me. It was a birthday present, and Judy drove. It was just the two of us, Judy and I. But she planned it and then, talked to him about it, so he paid for the ticket for my birthday. And probably the hotel, too. Or maybe she paid for the ticket. I don't know. But I know my husband had to help with some of it. I think that's enough using Space Up. This says Perennials. It's from an old gardening scrapbook. I'm going to put a belly band here. Or maybe, no, not that. I don't like the colors of this with that. This is part of one of those antique seed catalogs, 1920. Just about perfect there. Now, I need a color for a piece of cardstock, and I think I'd like to use that pretty blue. So I have to go get some blue. Okay, so this is just the right width, so I can't have the margin on the sides, but at the top and the bottom I can. And then I'll add a little rickrack. I can also tell you about a visit that I had last week. My husband's nephew lives in Florida. My husband's oldest brother moved to Florida when their kids were still young. So we had seen them some before they moved, but we didn't see his siblings as much as we saw mine. Their family had a different dynamic, but we saw them. My kids, you know, played with their kids when we were together. But they moved to Florida. Ron didn't like cold weather. So the kids grew up in Florida and we didn't see them. Didn't see much of them, didn't hear much from them. But anyway, before Bill died, we went to Florida. We went to Disney World with my daughter and her family, and Bill and I flew down a couple days early, 2 or 3 days early, so we could visit him. He's about an hour from Disney World, I think, something like that. So we spent some time with them, and it was really great. And they had a fifth wheel camper, so we stayed in the camper for a couple nights. And then I think they drove us to Disney World on the day we were supposed to meet my daughter there. But it's funny that their son Ronnie, who has his own construction business now, he was up here while we were down there because he likes to come up and go hunting. His mother's family still lives about half an hour away from us here. So we went down to Florida and we didn't get to see Ronnie. But he came up for, I don't think he came up for Bill's funeral. Ron did. His brother came up, but Ronnie came up shortly after to visit me. And I think he saw both my kids on that trip. And that was nice. Got to see him then. But what I'm trying to tell you, after all that background, is he's up here. He bought a house near his mother's family. His construction business is really, really good business. He's making out very well. So he bought a house. So he has a place to go with his family when they come up to go hunting and whatnot. And the house was owned by someone in the Burpee family. This Burpee family. It was a descendant of the Burpees. Anyway, they invited us to come over and see the house and just see them. So we had a day when all of us were available, both of my kids, their spouses, and the 2 kids that are still living at home. I'm looking for something that I can use to be a stopper. I didn't leave much space for a stopper there. I think I'll worry about that later. I might have to just punch a circle, but I want to decorate it. So that will come later. So now I'm just going to look for something I can put in there. Like I have this, but I don't like the colors with it. Okay, I have enough flower stuff that I have a table, like a folding table set up behind me to put all that stuff on. It's sorted into piles, so I keep turning around to pick things off the pile. So with all of the colorful pages, it's difficult to add cards to it that don't really compete with each other and clash and everything. But maybe this garden plan would be good. It's full of serene green colors and no clashing colors. So if the size is right, I might use this. That works. And I don't think I need something to hold it in place because it's snug enough, and there wouldn't be room for something unless it's way down at the bottom of the page. So I think I will put this on ledger paper. So anyway, we went to see my nephew's house, and his wife was there. His wife died during COVID, and he has since married this other young woman, and I really like her. So one of her kids was there, and they have adult children. But anyway, we had lunch with them, or dinner. It was dinner. And then he has 90 acres, and he wanted to show us the pond. So we went up, halfway up a mountain to get to his house, and then the pond was further up. And I was going to walk it with everybody else, but he wanted to take me on the four-wheeler. And I was happy to accept that offer. For one thing, it would be fun to ride a four-wheeler. I've never ridden a four-wheeler. So it was fun, and we got to chat on the way up. And I could tell he was really enjoying showing me things, and he would pause and show me something and continue on. It was nice. And then when everybody headed back down, after we did walk around once we got up to the pond, we did some more walking up there. And then everybody headed down, and he took me off into the woods. Oh, I loved it in there. It was a hot day, and it was so cool and serene in the woods. And so he just took me on a couple of trails he has in the woods. So it was just really, really nice. I did some stenciling there, as you see. I might want to add a bag here somewhere. So I'm going to put that there so I don't forget. And I think I will just clip some pieces to this. Since it's pretty black and white, this is green print. There's some bright color there, but I'm going to look for an image I can clip to this. I just love these vibrant colors from this encyclopedia. I think I like this with these colors. And they're here for 2 weeks, and this is their last week. And they decided that they said they wanted to see my new house. So they're going to come tomorrow evening, and we're going to make food for them. We picked a day that both my kids are going to be available after work again. So we get a visit from them tomorrow. Can't find the right size. Here's one. Tomorrow it is supposed to rain and start cooling off. So hopefully it won't be too bad when they're here. But they're from Florida. They're used to it. They said it wasn't that bad up here. So I'll clip that there, and I have a few other things I can look at to clip there. Like these are French seed packets, but I think I need something that doesn't compete color-wise. I don't know. Maybe I'll just put a paper that can be journaled on here. I'll put the bag here. And I have some plant cards. I think I'll put this one in here. I've got these old images from an old botanical book. I don't know if they're wildflowers, or I'm pretty sure this is a wildflower. Like near, yeah, I was going to say near a pond or a stream. It's in water. But I might put that on there anyway. But this, oh, that's a wildflower too. These are both from the North American Wildlife book, and I got another copy of that at a yard sale over the weekend. I can tell by the printing on the back that that's the book it came from. I'm just going to glue this down. I'm using up a lot of these labels from the Summer's Bounty set that I bought several years ago. I think I should reinforce this. This is that old scrapbook paper from that old wooden covered scrapbook, gardening scrapbook. And it likes to crack. This looks pretty good, but just to be safe. Cut a few strips so I can reinforce all of them. I'm just cutting them 1 inch wide. I think this is a good place to glue some trim. How are you all staying cool? Even when we were watching Billy Joel in my living room, I had the air conditioner on. It's in a window, and I had a tower fan blowing on me. Judy didn't want it. She gets cold easily. And it was still hot in there. Oh, and the ceiling fan on. It was hot. It is a small air conditioner for the space. It came with the house that I'm living in. And it's an open living room. There's no doors, so... And there's a staircase right there. So it's hard to, generate enough cold air to keep it cool in there. I'm sure it'll be fine when it's not a heat wave. But it's been a hot summer so far. I'm gonna put another one of these little brown envelopes here. And I'll find something to stick in it later. I have this little label, but I think it's too big. Yeah, that's too big. I'll put it here. It's got a ladybug on it. I used to have a perennial garden in my backyard, and that was a lot of work. I couldn't keep up with the weeding, but I had a garden swing in it my husband put up there for me. I had a garden party one year. That was really fun. What a cute little image. So some of my friends even wore garden hats to my garden party. get bees in our gardens. So I had this here and this. I want to make a little tuck spot with this. And this is an image from Gyo Fujikawa, one of his children's book, or her children's books. I'll have to glue something to the back because this is one of those papers that my printer flipped around and printed on both sides, and it was upside down. I decided to glue farther up. It's a little current post-it note. I'll include another seed packet here. I have one of these in there somewhere. Let's see, I think I like the color of the California poppy with this. And I'll put a paint chip in it. This is the one I put in the vegetable book. They're the same size. Oh, that's a fun color. It says picnic. And this one is Oh Pistachio. I will glue some paper to the back of that and just clip it here. Oh, I already have this bag that I decorated. I better make sure I put that in there, in this one. Okay, I think that will conclude this video. I'll have this signature to decorate still. But these two are pretty much done. I'll have some more details to do in them. but it's coming along. And this is the cover. I don't think I showed you. I used this part of a pillowcase fabric that kind of reminds me of lattice work. And this is from that 1960s Encyclopedia of Gardening book. Well, I had a collection of those books, and I thought the colors were good. But these are the antique pieces. So we're coming along, and I hope you like what you see here. I'm having fun with it. It's kind of relaxing because I'm keeping it simple, and at this point I'm following what I already did in the vegetable garden book. So it's easy to just say, okay, I'm going to do this here. Although, you know, all the images are different. I have all those bright flower images, and I didn't have a lot of vegetable things to use. But it makes it easy to just kind of copy what I've already done from the other book. Not cheating, just easier and faster. I appreciate you coming to watch today, and come on back to see what's next. Maybe it'll be the final flip through. I hope you're having a creative day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.